Good morning! Nice of you guys to drop by! Who said that? We're not doing Who Are You today. What am I talking about? Hey everybody, welcome to the Resistance broadcast. I'm John. Thank you so much for joining us on this wonderful Monday. It is April 11th. We are weeks away from Star Wars Celebration, and with that comes announcements. And we're going to talk a lot about that today and do a little speculating on a news Monday. With me, as always, is James and Lacey. James, Vans. I see you have a Vans hoodie on. Were you like a Vans sneaker guy back in the day?
Yeah, I was. It kind of one of these things like I got to go to the Vans factory and meet some of those people, some of the higher ups and stuff, and yeah. And so at one point there was a guy who'd been with the company for a very long time, and after I was out of the band, I talked to him, and he's like, dude, if you ever want shoes or clothing or anything, you just contact me. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not in the band. What's the point of this thing? And he goes, once you're in the family, you're always in the family, kind of thing. So I was like, cool. Now that being said, I've never taken him up on that offer.
You should have.
Yeah, but no, I've always felt because of what he said to me that day, and just my long history with the stuff. I've always felt a certain connection with the company and a little loyal to Vans in some way or another.
Big fan of Vans. Yeah, I used to wear Vans a bunch. I've switched to Adidas pretty recently, but I always liked a good pair of Vans. I wasn't a skater though, so I guess maybe I was a poser. But I don't know how that
When
works.
you do the Warped Tour, they sell Vans there. And if you're on the tour, you can just go get pairs of shoes.
Nice. All right.
As long as they have them on the tour, on stock.
MTV Cribs, where you show your shoe closet. It's just all different Van sneakers.
Oh, members had that. Yeah, like the rainbow, like every color Vans and stuff. Yeah.
There was this kid in high school who had tennis ball felt Vans.
Ooh.
Very strange. But Lacey, how about you? Were you a sneaker kid growing up, or what was your story?
No, I had I do have Vans. I have like winter ones that have some like fur in them, or not fur, but like faux fur.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I forgot to realize is that I get really hot when my feet are hot. Mm-hmm. So I never wear them because I get really hot, even if it's cold out. So it's a waste of money. But that being said, I have really awesome Kenobi themed Adidas from their Star Wars collection that I got for my birthday 2 years ago for Celebration, which I haven't worn yet. They're nice and crispy in the box. So I can't wait to break those out at Celebration.
Crispy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. All right. See, now everyone knows a little bit about our footwear.
Crispy more describes Anakin, but
Well, like fresh, like untouched, wonderfully white sneakers.
I meant like a bacon.
Right.
John hates bacon.
Or Crispy Boys, a nice ice cold Bud Light. But no, thanks to everybody for joining us today. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about Celebration. A lot of panel announcements. There's probably a lot more coming this week, but we're going to give our takes on what we've heard to this point and give our rundown and speculate a little bit. Have a little fun. Let's get a little loose. Have a good time. So, James, Resistance Report, lay it on us.
It's the Resistance.
Well, this is probably going to be one of the easier Resistance reports because it's all about Star Wars Celebration panels, right? So as of recording this episode, we've gotten at least 3 separate panels, like big panels announced. So we're just going to kick it off right here with the massive live action movie and series panel that was announced on Thursday, May 26th. And that's going to be kicking off the Celebration. There's going to be a ton of stuff here. I'm actually just going to throw it, open discussion kind of thing. Or I guess, John, if you wanted to talk about this first.
Send it to Lacey first.
Yeah, let's do that. Lacey. Yeah, I'm
kind of like a game of hot potato.
Yeah.
We never do that. Usually Lacey's like, I want to hear what John does. So go to John first.
Yeah, I'd rather so-and-so talk about it. No, I don't know. But
Lacey has her ear to the ground more than most. I feel,
yeah, this
celebration.
I was on Reddit in 2019 for saying how many chairs were on the stage. Someone put it on Reddit, and I was like, "Oh, I've made it now." Someone is quoting me with the amount
Lacey's
of chairs.
Thing is like when people post like, "I bet," and like big trade people and stuff like, "I bet Saturday is going to be like," and Lacey's like, "That's wrong. That's wrong."
Yeah.
That's wrong.
I don't do it publicly.
Nope.
I do it privately.
No, you don't. And you don't call people out or anything like that.
No,
right.
But there have been a couple people being like, I bet this is going to happen. And I'm like, no, it's not.
It's only natural when you do know information and people make a guess. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, we do it to yourself. Yeah.
Okay, so let's kick this off. We're talking about the main live action movie series panel. What I've heard is that it is a Walt Disney Studios Lucasfilm panel. It's kicking off around 10 a.m. From my experience of working with Reed Pop and being at celebrations, the show hours are 10 to 7. So that panel is going to kick off right first thing in the morning at 10 a.m. on Thursday. They announced it now because, first of all, Celebration's not that far off, but also because they want to sell Thursday tickets. The mail ticket deadline was Friday, so they wanted to sell tickets, so they're going to announce stuff to get people to buy that last-minute ticket. They want the show to be sold out before they get there. They don't want to sell tickets on site. That being said, I've heard that this panel is 90 minutes long. Now, most people know that a lot of panels are usually 45 minutes to an hour, so that's an extra 45 minutes that we can only imagine what it's going to be. I like to pat myself on the back a little bit here because I did say it was going to be a block panel and they were going to like lump all this stuff together, which they are. But I would expect, obviously, what they said, so Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor, The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett's probably going to get mentioned, but they also, I guarantee, are going to announce new stuff and or give updates to stuff that's coming, like Taika's stuff, Patty Jenkins, hopefully Rian Johnson. Like, maybe this is the time to do it.
Maybe.
But yeah,
Acolyte. Ahsoka,
yes,
that type of stuff.
Yep, absolutely. I think this panel is going to be the panel everyone's talking about, and they like to make the one big panel over the weekend that they get everything out there, and the press, wants everything on a Thursday rather than a Friday so that they can have that extra day in the office to do these pieces. So yeah, it's gonna be nuts. I can't even imagine what kind of stuff they're going to announce. But you can bet that we will be covering it for you guys listening.
Yeah, was the Rise of Skywalker panel on a Friday?
Yep.
It was a Friday morning. But this was put on a Thursday, I'm assuming, because Kenobi's on a Friday. So they want to get that press out before Kenobi hits and the show's running on a Friday.
So I don't know. I was just trying to put it together because I was thinking, what was the panel that was Thursday last time? And that would be Mando, right? So maybe there was like some mystery around Mandalorian and they wanted that to be the big thing, get that all out. And then obviously they knew people would cover the trailer. Am I right or wrong on that?
Well, Thursday of last time, 2019, there were no panels. Thursday was only a shopping day. So Friday was the first panel of the day. So this is the first panel of the show. Yes.
All right. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So the first panel is usually the biggest panel. Okay. That makes sense then.
Because they want to get it over with. Like, think if you're being an event planner, you're like, let's get this out of the way. Let's get all the talent in. Let's do this big panel and let's get them on their way so they can enjoy their weekend. Because, guys, they love seeing people on the celebration weekend, but they also want their weekend back.
Mandalorian was Sunday.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. Saturday.
Yes. I'm on StarWars.com right now.
You guys weren't there Sunday. No, you weren't there Monday.
We weren't there Monday.
I'm so confused because the days are.
Why'd they do that way?
What?
I'm not making fun of you, James.
2019 was a 5-day show, which was crazy. And then Thursday was a shopping only day, and then Monday was the Phantom Menace anniversary panel. I have heard that the Attack of the Clones anniversary panel is going to be Friday, which has not been announced yet, but
maybe.
Everyone knew it was coming. They're already celebrating it in the merch. So that is not really a surprise.
John, so let me ask you this question. I think Lacey is a little more gung-ho on announcements. What are your thoughts on this panel as far as, what we're obviously going to see what they said, Obi-Wan and or Mandalorian Season 3, but then new stuff?
Yeah, so it's like when they do these like the big whopper panel of celebration, which this is what that's going to be, because there's no saga film coming out this year or anything like that.
It's replicating D23, really. Because D23 does these big block things where they include all the animation stuff in one panel and all the live action stuff in one panel.
Yeah. And, their next movie is still not due out for a year and a half. I feel like people are still a little not sure how they feel about it. So maybe they'll use this panel to sort of boost some confidence in it. I don't think that movie started filming yet, though. So I don't know what they're going to do. But
title card.
I think with these beast panels, though, they have to end it with something big. And because I don't think we're going to get anything major, I mean, I think we'll get an Andor trailer, because that show's been done filming for a long time. It comes out 3 months after this event. So I would be shocked if we didn't get an Andor trailer. So I think we'll get that. But I think they're also going to do I feel like they have to do some sort of big reveal to make up for we don't have your big saga film trailer, or George Lucas isn't going to come out and we're not going to do that 40th anniversary thing. It's just going to be we need to make some news. And I think an Andor trailer would make news, but I think they want to send some shockwaves. At least I hope so. And we'll get some sort of maybe big announcement. I don't think it's going to be something here's Daisy Ridley, and guess what? They're coming back sooner than you thought, or anything like that.
There's been a lot of people talking about her because she's back on social media.
Yeah, and they're who's she following? And it's a lot of Star Wars people, and I get that. I just think she's in a better place now, and maybe she's just I want to post me getting having a facial mask on or something.
Yeah, just posting silly stuff. Yeah.
But I just feel like Lacey said, if it's she's saying a 90-minute panel, that's a lot of time, and they said the live action filmmakers, and a lot of people are just thinking it's going to be only Disney Plus. I think it's going to be everything, because as far as I can tell in the schedule, there's no other panels that indicate movie time, and this is for the movies. So I think this is going to be all the live action stuff, including the upcoming movies. I would love to get more details on the movies. So Taika, Feige, maybe have Feige probably might not be there, but maybe he comes in via the screen. Something people oh my god, it's the king of movies now, Kevin Feige. What are you doing for Star Wars? But I think at the end, I would love it to be a big announcement to wrap it up and have people out of there holy cow, I don't believe it. Star Wars: The Old Republic trilogy coming to theaters, and something like that. So that's my hope. And again, this isn't one of those things I'm trying to build false expectations for people. If that doesn't happen, I'm fine, because I'm not going in expecting it, and I think that's the best way to go about it. But we're here to speculate on it because these things were just announced. So, and I think a big part of being a Star Wars fan is that sort of speculating and discussing with your fellow fans. What do you think it's going to be? What do you think they're going to talk about? What are they going to reveal? As long as you don't carry it with you as truth, that you're going to get that. So I think just make sure you have fun with it. But if you don't get what you're hoping for, you don't get all angry about it. So
yeah, I mean, my thing is I just don't think they're going to announce something new. I think what the announcements and surprises and big things that we're going to take away from it are going to be what we didn't know and now we do know. So it's kind of going through the list or whatever. I would expect to see that Andor trailer, right? So it's we didn't know much about it. Okay, now we've seen the trailer. That's news. But then you're going to get Leslie Headland talking about the Acolyte and some artwork. Same thing probably for
we'll get cast revealed for that.
Yeah, probably something along those lines. I think we're going to get the same thing when it comes to Rogue Squadron. You're going to get more information as far as the artwork and stuff,
probably
previs, and you think cast is for that too as well. Okay. And then Taika Waititi's thing, I think that's going to be, they're going to tell you what it is. Title card, this is what it is. couple lines, like 3 sentences that say, this is when it'll take place. This is the point of it. Get excited. It's coming. And then we'll get a release date, or something along those lines, which will not be held.
I wonder if
I know Lucasfilm. They're
Yeah,
going to say the release date and not meet it, but all right.
Yeah. Well, you also have to take into account that this is Disney and their stock isn't doing great right now. So they're going to lean on this panel and announcements to drive that up a little bit. So that's why I'm leaning towards, if they have anything to share, they're going to share it. Whether it be new stuff that's just sitting there, they're going to get it out there because they want that bump from the weekend.
Also,
but does it have to happen here? Oh,
yes.
I guess it.
It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
No. I meant here. I didn't mean here celebration. I meant here at this exact panel.
Yes.
Yeah, because if you look at the rest of the schedule, unless they fit something else, another big panel in there somewhere, I don't see where that fits. Especially with what we're about to talk about in a couple of minutes here. But the Ahsoka series, they have to. They're probably going to really confirm stuff and shed some light on that.
Will they say who Ezra is?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say. So he took my juice there.
Sorry.
I had juice.
You got me excited.
Yeah, I think we're going to get the big Ezra actor reveal finally at Star Wars Celebration.
What about Thrawn? You think we'll find out who Thrawn
Ezra
is?
and Thrawn will get. And that'll be like the big thing. And maybe they'll have the 2 actors walk out or something like that.
I could see Sabine too. Like you say Ezra, and I think that's the top one. But
Sabine's been reported by trades, I believe.
Yeah.
So that wouldn't have the same cachet. But Ezra, I feel like
hasn't it?
Ezra's been by YouTubers like, we think it's this guy, But
so here's my question: who's hosting the panel?
What's his name? They'll get like
Stephen Colbert?
Colbert or like Kimmel.
Because Colbert did it in 2019. Josh Gad did it in 2017. He did the Last Jedi panel because he was doing those videos with Daisy Ridley being like, tell me what the secrets are of your movie.
Yeah.
And then Anthony Bresnikan did 2015.
Is there another big like Disney Plus show? Like Cheaper by the Dozen. Here's Zach Braff. Like if they're pushing like.
I'm just surprised that's the one you went with. Because everyone's talking about Moon Knight
right now.
Everyone's talking about Moon Knight.
Well, so yeah, but that wouldn't be.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know if there's anything they're pushing. I would assume it would be either, it would have to be probably Stephen Colbert, some big Star Wars fan type character.
Yeah, I was going to say Jimmy Kimmel because they are in California. He does his show right there. Mm-hmm. He's a huge Star Wars fan. His show's on ABC. Mm-hmm. It checks a lot of the boxes, and he hasn't done one yet.
I was surprised to see Stephen Colbert.
I think that's too.
Yeah,
I think Stephen Colbert did it because it was Force Awakens and it was the return of Star Wars, and that was a big deal.
No, Rise of Skywalker.
He did Rise of Skywalker. I think he did it because he's friends with JJ.
Who did the one for Force Awakens then?
Anthony Bresnikan.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well,
and then Rogue One in 2016 was Gwendolyn Christie.
Yeah, which was interesting.
She did a great job, though.
So maybe it would be Oscar Isaac. Because it's like another Star Wars. Or maybe it's
Daisy. Maybe Daisy's hosting it.
Oh, Daisy. That would be interesting. Yeah.
It's definitely not going to be Oscar Isaac.
It could be if he's there for Moon Knight.
My Google is not working. What the hell?
It's two O's, John.
So if you guys had a certain announcement that you wanted, like out of nowhere, outside of obviously Solo happening, would there be anything that you'd be like, oh my God, this is awesome? Like anything that would just surprise you?
Yeah, Star Wars Episode 10 with Rey and Finn as a Jedi.
I would love Star Wars Episode 10.
Yeah,
I don't even care if it's soon. Just do it.
I think if they did the Thrawn show, that would be pretty nuts. Like
a Thrawn show?
Yeah. I know how you guys are Mandalorian over here.
No. I'm just honestly what I was thinking about in my head was how I was saying in my head, make sure you mention this, Lacey, which was for people listening that are going to Celebration, just a reminder that these bigger panels, especially this one, is going to be lottery based. So be prepared to apply for the lottery to be in the room. However, my understanding is it is broadcasting to 2 other stages as well. So you can get into one of those rooms or you can watch it on the show floor.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll just say this, and I know we said this on the show before, like James and I had a blast on the show floor watching it. And that made me not going into that celebration was my first celebration. I was like, I gotta get into the panel. Oh my god, I hope I get into this this panel and stuff. But now having experienced episode 9 on the show floor, I don't worry about that as much. If I get it, cool. If not, I remember that moment incredibly well.
Your guys' video has like 75,000 views or something like that?
Yeah, something.
100,000 views?
Yeah. It's interesting because you would think like, well, obviously I would choose one over the other, but it's not as crazy. And when you're thinking like, oh, well, you're in a room and it's like an arena and there's like, 15,000 people in there, or you're over here and there's like 1,000 or 1,500 people there.
I mean, it was packed. Like,
it was.
You guys were in a crazy crowd because I saw above, someone shot from above. Yeah. It's nuts.
So what I'm saying is like, I don't really know. Like, it feels like it's kind of diminishing returns. Like, yes, you're in that room, but when you're surrounded by 1,500, it's like, I don't, it's hard to even tell like what you're doing. Yeah. 15, I'd say 1,500, 2,000 probably. Yeah. That'd be my guess.
I mean, and the fact that, so I only say that because I know there's people who are already, I see on Twitter and stuff like expressing anxiety about the lotteries and and stuff. Like, really don't worry about it. Like, honestly, like, it's great to be there because I got to be in the Mandalorian panel and that was a lot of fun. But as long as if you're going to Celebration, and I know we have a lot of listeners who are not going to Celebration, I get that. But in terms of for people who are worried about getting, the lottery and stuff, like, don't worry too much because you're gonna get they guarantee you to one of the main panels, I believe. So just, pick which ones you want to go for. If you don't get it, go to the main floor, meet people, have a blast. Like, you're going to have a good time anyway and absorb
everywhere
all that
else
content,
is empty. So. You'll know where to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah.
I think this is a good opportunity to move into the next panel that was announced because it also, interestingly enough, is kind of the same thing in a way as the other panel because this is Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni specifically talking about the Mandalorian-only panel. So it's really interesting because I would imagine then the Thursday panel is they're going to talk about it lightly because they specifically mentioned it, but that's not where you're going to get your trailer and stuff, right? I would think they carry that over to the next day. And I'm also I'm interested in your guys' speculation on this. There's Star Wars television, but I think there's also like the Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni universe over here. So I'm kind of thinking maybe this is where you get your Ahsoka and your Book of Boba Fett talk over here.
Announcements are going to be saved for the big one. Mm-hmm. This will be probably behind the scenes talk and like how they came up with the characters and what they see for the characters moving forward and their production.
This
working together
panel will end with the reveal of that culmination event that Kathleen Kennedy was talking about.
Yeah, maybe. I just think like trailers and stuff will be the big panel.
They're going to announce the final season of The Mandalorian will be season 4, and it will build up to either a feature film or something of that kind. And it will be directed by Jon Favreau. It will come out in 2025. Yes. Dude, they're giving The Mandalorian their own panel.
I know. For season 3, because it's the biggest thing on
The Mandalorian, Plus, which is old news. I'm just kidding. But I think, like, how are they going to fill an hour talking about The Mandalorian? We're obviously going to get a look at season 3, which finished filming. Mm-hmm. It may be one of those things where it's a teaser or like, here's 4 minutes again or something like that. Mm-hmm. Please put away your cell phone sort of deal. And then I think at the end, they've been talking about this is building up to a culmination event. Like, that would be the perfect time because if they don't do I don't know if they're doing a celebration next year, And then, the final season, say they go 4 seasons, the final season of The Mandalorian would be the following year. It would just make sense for them to do some sort of like, this is building up to something, and, here's the name of it. And this is the culmination event, and it's a feature film or something. I feel like that panel is going to end with something, with some sort of buzz, as opposed to just being like, and just so you know, we're going to do another season. See you later,
I think the
pals.
buzz is the trailer. I think the buzz could potentially be the like tie-ins with that small universe. Lacey, what are your thoughts? Because
that's what I mean. That's the culmination is like all those.
But I'm saying
together.
The announcements of the last season, that's not there, and the culmination, the bigger event. I don't think we're there yet.
Oh, and they'll bring Grogu on stage, and he'll like move around and stuff.
That would be cool if they brought the puppet out. Oh my God,
I think that's a lock. That they gotta do that.
That
right?
would be killer. That's like bringing out BB-8 at The Force Awakens when everybody thought BB-8 was CG.
Now imagine like Filoni pulls so many punches that they're like, oh, we forgot somebody, and George Lucas walks out holding Grogu. Forget about it.
Come on, they would never.
Holy cow.
I think that this panel is definitely going to go into like behind the scenes stuff, maybe show you some clips here and there of like this upcoming season and talk about stories from the past seasons and why they decided certain things. It's going to be interesting to see how they address the Gina Carano stuff because, they can't not talk about that character unless they're going to completely avoid it. But I think John makes a good point. I think they could say, hey, The Mandalorian ends in 4 seasons, and that's a big enough announcement that they don't even have to say anything. They could just say, hey, by the way, at the end of the panel, by the way, The Mandalorian ends in 4, after season 4. And then you're going to see all these headlines that are like, Mandalorian ends in 4 seasons. Like, they don't have to show anything. They could just say it. Kind of like when Marvel was doing their panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and Kevin Feige was like, oh, and by the way, we're doing Blade.
Yeah.
Come on out.
I hear what you're saying, but
Yep.
the only way I think that would happen is if Mandalorian's ending after this season. Because I think that when you say that, it has to be get ready for season 3 because it will be the last season.
Oh, you think season 3 has to be the end?
I'm saying if they're going to announce it on stage this year, then season 3 would have to be the last season. But I think it's more likely that they would go season 4 or more. The reason I think they're also too far away from that culmination event is when they announced that, we knew we were getting more Mandalorian, but we had just found out for the first time that day that they talked about it, we were getting Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka, and there was going to be a Book of Boba Fett show. So we've only gotten one of those things. So this is like, I feel like we need to see Ahsoka and let it breathe. We need to see another show, whether it's Rangers of the New Republic or whatever they're going to do, whatever. I think they have these ideas to let those shows breathe, but they just threw out that idea like, 5, 6, 7 years down the line, that's our goal. That's where we're going with these particular shows. But we haven't even seen Ahsoka, We're so far away, we're wanting even a trailer. I think we need to let the all those shows exist, and that's why I think Mandalorian's going to go longer than 3 seasons. I could see them going a 4th and maybe even a 5th season, seriously. And then making that announcement around that time is like, now that you've seen Ahsoka season 2, now that you've seen Book of Boba Fett season 2, now that or 3, now that it's Mandalorian season 5, we're really happy with this. That's where that event is leading. Because if they pull it now, I don't really see like, I'm going to be like, wow, that was great.
I got to admit, the only thing I keep thinking about for Book of Boba Fett is that the episodes everybody went crazy about were the ones with the Mandalorian in it. The Mandalorian's become such a big character in Star Wars that for some people, he's their favorite. He's their favorite character, their favorite property, their favorite thing.
Yeah,
some people got into Star Wars with the Mandalorian.
My most, what's your biggest standout memory from the Book of Boba Fett?
Mando walking through the freezer door. Yeah. Yeah. Just that moment of like, he's back and the music, like that whole scene.
My biggest takeaway, it would probably be the deep fake Luke, like that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's my like walk away from like that series. But even then, when I'm sure, like when you say the name, I think of Boba and Fennec Shand like standing next to each other and stuff, but not any particular moment. When I really think about the series as a whole, I'm going to think of the final episode. I'm going to think of everything coming together and them fighting like the giant things in the streets and the
mine
Rancor
is
and all
Boba
that.
Fett and the Rancor. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was wild. That was wild. That was so crazy. And like that's what sticks out in my head.
Because the Mandalorian episode felt like an episode of The Mandalorian. So when I'm thinking Book of Boba Fett, that doesn't fit. It doesn't register right away to me.
I just think if you're doing a panel on The Mandalorian, you know, they did a panel on The Mandalorian in 2019. I think the only reason to just give The Mandalorian the panel has to be more than just telling us about, you know, we're doing more Mandalorian.
That's why I think it's the trailer.
I know, but I still don't think that's enough because you could do that at the live action panel.
Well, I think then my other thing was I think it's the trailer and then they talk about their universe. That may be where you get the Ahsoka and Ezra, you know, and all that casting stuff. But I don't know.
I'm interested to see what exhibit they usually have a costume exhibit at these things that are related to the thing that's coming out. I wonder if they're going to have a Kenobi costume exhibit.
Oh, yep. That makes sense.
Or a Mandalorian one. I would think Obi-Wan Kenobi because that's what's out.
Well, Andor as well.
Or Andor.
What are they going to do about Kenobi at that live action panel being like, I mean, you're going to see a third of the show in a few hours, so...
Well, so what they could do, it's Thursday morning. If Ewan McGregor's there, he could come out and say, we've got a special surprise for you. We're going to be showing the first episode or something.
They're going to hold that for a different thing.
You think?
Oh, yeah. I think they're going to have him come out. Here's the thing. They're going to have him either come out first and get it over with, or they're going to have him come out last to get you prepped for what's coming.
They'll have him come out and then Hayden will come out after.
Right. I'm saying they're either going to have them come out first to kick it all off to be like, hey, you know this is happening, or they're going to hold it off to the end so that when you leave that panel, you leave remembering, hey, Obi-Wan Kenobi's coming out tomorrow.
This is never going to happen, but how amazing would it be if like Darth Vader walks on stage and everyone thinks it's just some guy dressed up as Darth Vader as like part of the like background cast?
John, we're living in the moment right now that we're going to flash back to and be like, how did he predict it?
John's saying that Hayden's going to take the helmet off. The thing is, how many times on the show has John gone, okay, guys, we're in the panel. Imagine that. Like in the past 20 minutes, you've been like, George Lucas walks out with Grogu puppet.
I'm just saying, I've been right about some of this stuff over the years. So now imagine the helmet comes off and it's Hayden Christensen. The place would go absolutely bananas.
I don't think they're going to have Hayden dressed up as Vader.
I don't either. I'm just saying they should.
Although they had Krennic dressed up as Krennic in 2016. They had him come out with all the Death Troopers and it was sick.
I love that he's just Krennic. They had Krennic come out dressed up as Krennic.
I just see him as like, I know he's Ben Mendelsohn, but it's just like he's so Krennic that when he came out, it was awesome.
Look, I'm not saying they're going to do it. I don't think they should put Hayden through that, but it would be beyond memorable and the crowd would go freaking bananas.
They better have a smoke machine. That's all I got to say. You better go full dramatic if you're going to do it.
You got to get the dry ice or whatever. Yeah, no doubt.
I'm thinking it's such a perfect thing, but then I'm like, oh man, but then, you know, how do you... He's going to have to do the whole panel in the outfit or something.
If the three of us...
Well, Krennic went out and changed. Krennic went backstage, changed, came back out.
Yeah, but I was still picturing... I thought that,
whichever
but I was like,
of us,
I don't know how they manage him.
Yeah,
whoever... I don't know, like, we haven't figured out, like, what's going on with, like, who's going to what panel. We haven't done the lottery yet, but all I want to know is if Darth Vader walks out on that stage, someone's going to be like, oh.
If it ends up being me, John, I'm going to tweet from Star Wars Newsnet saying, John was right. And it's just the clip of him coming out.
I'm just going to get that clip ready just in case.
So what I would think would happen is they bring out Ewan. He's talking and stuff. And then they talk about his adversary.
And then just hear.
Yeah. So then Darth Vader walks out. They do a little bit, maybe a little like fake like thing
Imperial
or whatever.
March. Yeah.
Then he pulls the helmet off. It's Hayden, and Hayden announces the trailer. The place goes nuts. They put the trailer up. Or no. Oh, you're right. Yeah, but I'm picturing. Sorry, I was
or
thinking
a scene, an exclusive
a scene or something.
Yeah.
But then they do the scene. He goes backstage. That's how they do it. He changes, and when the scene's over, he comes back out.
Sure.
And he's in a nice outfit or whatever. Yeah, trailer. That's
and then
like,
Palpatine comes out again, and he's like, "Roll it again," and you're like, "What?"
They're never gonna do this, but I'm telling you, if they did it, it would be theater. It would be frickin' theater at Star Wars Celebration. Sign me up.
You're
Come on.
putting all your eggs in the I called it basket.
I'll be the creative consultant.
Executive producer, John Hoey.
Yeah.
Last panel?
I don't know. I think that's it, as much as we can say about those. There is one other panel as of today that we're recording that is officially announced, and that is on Sunday. There's going to be a Bad Batch panel that is confirmed. So as of now, there's been a lot of speculation about when the show is going to air, when we're going to get a trailer. So this to me kind of confirms that this is when they're going to tell you when the show's coming, when you're going to get your first trailer.
A poster.
Yep, the poster. Everybody gets a poster of the Bad Batch in that same format that all these posters come in. It's these ones back here. I don't know which way I'm pointing, but yeah, Bad Batch. Either one of you guys have thoughts on this? Because unfortunately, we're not going to be there that day.
I'm going to be on a plane because unfortunately we live on the East Coast. So if we don't leave first thing in the morning, we never get home because of just the time difference. The funny thing is, like, you go out to California, you get a whole day back, but on the way you lose a day. So I'm excited for Bad Batch fans because people have been asking about this.
It's confirmation that you won't be seeing Bad Batch on May the 4th. It's confirmation that you will likely be seeing Bad Batch after Kenobi's finished. So probably mid to late June. So probably like closer to like this sort of a summer run that may lead right up into Andor.
Right.
So that's probably what fans can expect there. I'd like to think they don't do something where they're like where they reveal a season 3 or anything like that, because I don't know how many how much legs Bad Batch has. I just think it's going to be a pretty straightforward thing. I don't think this is the panel. It's a Sunday. It's not going to have too many twists and turns. They just want to give it its time on its own to give credence to Star Wars animation. And then I think once the Bad Batch is done, that's sort of like the end of the ties to Dave Filoni animation. And then the next celebration is when we'll sort of get an idea of well, probably before then, but I'm saying whatever the next celebration is when we'll sort of meet whoever's kind of running the operation from the Lucasfilm animation side of things. Now that Dave Filoni's got promoted and moved on to more heavy responsibilities. So
there was a lot of speculation on our part when it came to Book of Boba Fett, whether they were going to bring in Omega. And it's like, why announce that in the show if you're not going to, announce that she's like kind of a sister to Boba Fett and all that? So my speculation on this panel is that when they're having it, they're going to announce in that show that some friendly faces or familiar faces that we're going to see, and then they'll put Boba Fett up on there. And it will be like our first confirmation of Boba Fett after the Clone Wars. And like, where's he at? What's he doing? Potentially Daniel Logan to return to do the voice. Maybe he's on the panel to talk about it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So I think that potentially, if I'm basing it off of what we learned about the first season and where it's going to go, but we want to still see those connections and stuff. We already got, Cad Bane and Fennec Shand and all these other ones. So it's like, where else could they go? And I'm like, well, Boba Fett would be the big one to me. And it would be another way for them to be like, Clone Wars. Remember Clone Wars? It's still live. This is still a continuing story. We're bringing characters from Clone Wars here. And that announcement of our connection with Boba Fett means that it would be very easy, I think, to bring that character into season 2. So that's my guess on Bad Batch season 2 announcements at that panel.
Nice.
That character.
All right.
Yeah. So I don't know. that is not everything that was going on in the news. We just kind of figured that was probably the most interesting, craziest stuff. There were a couple other things we wanted to talk about. And actually, the first thing here, I'm going to actually throw it to Lacey really quick because we got the Black Series Saw Gerrera and other stuff from the Hasbro's Fan First event. So you want to tell us what you saw?
Yeah, so Hasbro did their Fan First Wednesday. I love how it's been like Tuesday, it's been Friday, it's now Wednesday. And they announced a bunch of new figures for their vintage collection and Black Series lines. Notably, for me at least, was they have a Leia figure that's coming out that's really cool. They have a Sergeant Creel, which is a stormtrooper with a lightsaber that goes into like the comics. They have Figrin Dan. I always say that name wrong. The guy from the Cantina, which is really cool, as well as like a bunch of different Mandalorian figures. I saw some comments online of people being like, oh, it's just more troopers because they're doing like a Death Trooper box in a bunch of different troopers. And, oh, it's like nothing really new, even though there's an Infinite Vader, which is like a white Vader, which is really cool. My response to that is, look, the most money that Hasbro has made recently in the past few years has been on The Mandalorian and on Troopers and world building. So the things that they're going to keep making are Troopers and Mandalorian stuff. I myself am obviously a big fan of the sequel trilogy. I wanted a lightsaber. I finally got it. So I feel like I'm like in my zone now where I'm like, I'm not going to ask for something for a little bit because they finally made the lightsaber that I wanted. Yeah. And I nagged them for like 3 years about it. But I think that there are a lot of really awesome figures in this announcement that people can find something that they really enjoy. But I go back to, it's just really expensive to be a collector now. So you got to pick and choose what you want. But I get that people are like, oh, where's the sequel trilogy stuff? And it's like, I get it, but there's just so much in the world of The Mandalorian that they can pull from. I did find it interesting, though, that their pipeline reveal, they did have a Migs Mayfield Season 1 figure, even though they already did the Season 2 figure. And then they're also doing Grogu. And I was like, haven't you done enough Grogu?
Lacey, what did you just say? You have to understand that they're making money from these things.
But I mean, like, out of anything, Grogu. Yeah. Just because it's a reveal, I'm like, is that really a reveal? Because it's like, done Grogu a lot. You could just do it and not reveal it. But anyway, Hasbro does a good job. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
James?
Hasbro.
Did I say Hasbro? Hasbro. Yeah, that's right. Okay, go ahead, James. Sorry.
No, but a couple other things. If you guys are familiar with the site, Edelweiss, that does like books and stuff, there was kind of a leak a little bit, or like kind of a quick reveal. So if you're interested at all in the Essentials Legends collection, already has been announced is all the collections up to Wave 4. But the leak I'm talking about was the Wave 5 books, which if you want to know, it is the Old Republic Revan book, the Old Republic Deceived book, and the X-Wing, the Back to War book. So if you are a collector, want to see those new editions come out, or you haven't read those, sometimes people seem to think that when they release these things, they kind of give hints or there's a reason, but I don't know. They're just kind of like good ones that they're wanting to re-release and kind of make some money on. But if you're interested, check those out. The only other thing we got here is just this sneak peek at the Star Wars Obi-Wan comic. It's a 5-issue miniseries that is coming out May 4th. And we're already kind of getting excited about it because the pictures and panels that we saw from this are going to showcase his life in the desert, of course, right? But we're also getting a look at him as a very young child. It looks to be on the streets of Coruscant as he finds himself in a couple different odd situations with bullies and gangsters and thieves and other things in the streets. And I think if you look at his clothing, it's kind of interesting. Like, oh, is this, I assume it was before he was, or not before he was brought to the Jedi, because he's on Coruscant, right? But it's not really like a typical Jedi Padawan outfit and stuff. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting. And I'm curious if they'll go back even further to showcase maybe a little bit of his like days on the Stewjon planet, which everybody, I don't know how many people know, it was named after Jon Stewart, who also would be a fun guest panelist, host, you know what I mean?
He's done all the Lucas panels usually.
Is that the guy from, are you talking about the guy from Big Daddy?
It is Big Daddy, yeah.
Oh
It's weird. He's the one who was dating the Hooters waitress.
Yeah. You know, the twist at the end of that movie is it turns out he was the Big Daddy all along.
Yeah. Yeah. It was. You would think it was Adam Sandler, but he was not the dad.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
And now you
John
look
himself.
back at it, you're like, Jon Stewart? You're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
But that is it for Resistance Report this week. I'm going to send it over to Lacey now to move into the next section. What do we got?
All right, guys, it's time for the Patreon pod race. So there are lots of ways you can support us. You can follow, comment, subscribe on YouTube here if you like the video version. Hi, how's it going? If you like the audio version, you can find us on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, which is really great. Please leave a review. It really helps us to not only hear your feedback, which is wonderful, but also to let other people find the show. You can follow us on Twitter at RBATSWNN or on Instagram at The Resistance Broadcast. But if you want more than that, including exclusive videos, live streams, Discord access, merchandise, and much more, you can head over to patreon.com/resistance broadcast. Starting at just $2 a month, you support us in what we're doing here and what we plan to do at Celebration and other events in the future. And you're just saying, hey, I like what you guys are doing. I like Star Wars. You like Star Wars. I want to be a part of the community, and we appreciate it so much. So this is the part of the show where we let our generals and spice runners take part. We ask them a question, they give us an answer, and we talk about it. So first, I want to thank those people. So thank you to our generals, Carmelo, Jeremy Myers, John Reese, Jetta Rosewater, Paul Olson, Frank Grande, Darth Hurricane, John Charlton, Nick Kratz, Christian Morales, Brian Smith, Matt Chitty, Danny, Mike Morey, Matt Heath, Double C Chris White, Brendan McLaughlin, and Val Trichkoff. Thank you guys so much for being generals.
Thank you.
And to our spice runners, David Probus, Neil Shaw, Kendall Gelner, Ryan Wara, David Hornack, Micah Harrison, Thomas Hennessy, and Andrew Staley. Thank you guys so much. Micah, awesome job on the Spice Run chat, which is exclusive to Patreon. We just did last week. It was a live stream. It was a lot of fun. So this week, we have one of our Spice Runners, David Probus. We call him Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
A lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of names, yeah.
Graybeard.
Yeah.
So his question was, we know you love lightsabers, David, but if you were a Jedi in the Star Wars galaxy, how would you specifically customize your Hilton saber? So if people came across it, they knew that it was David Graybeard, the Spice Runner's lightsaber. David, take it away.
Kermit D. Frog here, reporting for TRB News. What's up, y'all? It is Spice Runner Graybeard. Make Solo 2 happen. Today, we're going to be talking about this lightsaber, the weapon of a Jedi Knight. So, this is what my lightsaber would look like if I were in Star Wars. So, love the claws. It shows aggression. It shows passion, and I know Jedi aren't supposed to be passionate, but everybody's passionate about something. It's how you deal with that passion. Just saying. The leather wrap here in the middle would either be mythosaur skin, maybe Krayt dragon skin, something like that, reptilian. I think that's cool. And the Kyber crystal. If I'm dealing with passions, you know my Kyber crystal is going to be red. Sorry, not sorry. Love you, TRB fam. Hope you're doing well. Graybeard is out.
Nicely done, David. It's always awesome to have you on the show and to hear from you and to see you. So, John, what'd you think?
The Kermit the Frog thing.
It's so good. We
have to have him. Yeah.
Our monthly
like
chats that we do with our admirals, spice runners, and generals, he had mentioned he does a good impression, and everybody, people say that, and you're like, oh, okay. He did it. I lost it. It was just
it was great.
So good.
And I like this little reference to Sesame Street, Kermit the Frog. The TRB News. I guess you could have done Star Wars News Net, but TRB News works there. But I was surprised, man. You went dark side with your saber, because I know you're a very holy man. So the fact
he's such a nice guy. Like, I couldn't picture him as a bad guy.
I don't see him as all that nice.
Oh, it makes sense to me.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but I knew you had a lightsaber, a custom one from one of those sites. That I will not mention unless they want to put an ad on our podcast. But no, I like the design of yours. It looks a little like I don't know, a little Dathomirian, a little Darth Maulian. It looks evil. It looks gnarly, man. But I like that it's yours. And you went so far as to say like this might be crate skin around the midsection and stuff. So I basically just wanted to hear your sort of description because I knew you had one. And I wasn't sure if you were going to go with yours or come up with something else for the sake of fiction, but the fact that you went dark side was pretty cool. So I'll just leave it at that. And man, as I always say, thanks for all your support. I know you're not going to be making the trek to Celebration, but I know you'll be. We have
good stuff planned. Don't worry,
along
David.
with us. Yeah. So get your glass of milk ready, and I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
He's gonna be like, milk?
Yeah.
What a weird thing to tell me to get ready. How long should I leave it out for, John?
It all makes sense.
Probably about as long as I left out my hot chocolate that one day. Like 5 days. No, you're exactly right with the claws and everything, the aggression. I think the red thing is cool. It was a little surprising. Like I said, I would have thought he was all Jedi, but sometimes it kind of makes sense. Like I think the reason people do Halloween costumes and cosplays, like the whole idea of like you get to be something that you regularly not. So I think I think that I guess I'm talking to you, David, but it would be fun, I guess, to kind of explore like, I'm all bad, I'm going bad. I could throw up the cloak, and it's fun to play that character and have the lightsaber and it be red and evil and stuff. But it is very opposed to your general personality and stuff. So. Thanks for doing it. Thanks for the impression. Yeah, that was really funny, and I'm just so glad you're part of the crew, buddy.
David, you're so awesome. I love hearing from you, and your Kermit kills me. I honestly am surprised that you went on the dark side. You look so happy talking about it though, so I kind of get it, but I'm surprised. You're such a nice guy. I didn't expect it, but I love it. I love that about Star Wars fans.
How about David dropping a sorry, not sorry?
Yes. But yeah, David, I'm sorry you can't make it to Celebration. But like I said, don't worry. We have really cool stuff planned. So back to you, John.
All right. So before we get out of here, we just want to give you a couple of updates, some exciting stuff that we can't really get to too many specifics on, only because we don't do cryptic, teasing. It's not our style, but just because we're working on stuff. But we just wanted to say, for people who have been asking us, we're not going to be appearing on the official podcast stage inside the convention, but worry not if you're heading to Celebration, because we are working on stuff as we speak behind the scenes in the Resistance base, burning the midnight oil, and we're going to have some really exciting stuff to share soon. But we never like to jump the gun, so we just want to make sure we have everything set up exactly how we want it, and we'll let you know exactly what those plans are. But safe to say the three of us are very excited about everything we have going on heading into Celebration. And once we have it all set up, you're going to know about it. So that's basically that. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that, but
yeah, I was going to say, we're also going to have meetups every single day at the show. We have so much swag to give away, guys. We have so much stuff and really cool things. We're going to do giveaways and all different types of stuff throughout the show. So you will see plenty of us.
I have things right off
Don't spoil
camera.
it yet.
I'm just saying there are things that are.
One thing I will say.
There's right off screen,
I'll say this. The Thursday of Celebration, we're going to be putting out an episode, because we know people still want our podcast, especially for people who aren't going to Celebration. You're going to want to listen to, if you're going to Celebration, you're going to want to listen to that episode, because you'll have a chance to do something exciting. Just think about the Mando fan show and kind of stuff we did with the giveaways with that, a little in that genre. But if you are going to Celebration, make sure you wake up. We'll post the episode early on the West Coast side, and make sure you listen to that episode and be on the convention floor on Thursday. That's all I'll say. So that's basically it, right? We don't want to say, there's not too much else we want to say right now.
No, we're just really excited for the show. We're going to have a great time. We can't wait to see you guys, which is the whole point of all of this, is just to see you guys.
And for all of you who have been faithful listeners of ours or viewers of ours, wherever you want to put it, part of the Resistance, and you're not making it to Celebration, We are definitely going to be doing a lot of video work. We are confirming that now.
And giveaways and stuff.
Yeah, because we have media badges, so we'll have access to the media room and be able to do coverage for you guys the way we need to do it. We're going to be doing some interviews on site with some cool people. So we're going to bring you into the experience as sort of like we did in 2019, but maybe even a little better because we know how the three of us work together at a celebration now. So very excited for all of it. So whether you're going or not, you are part of the Resistance. You always will be, and we'll make sure you feel like you're there with us. But thank you for listening and watching and being a part of TRB. As always, like Lacey said, make sure you're subscribed and spreading the word. Really, people think, these things just kind of spread on their own. A lot of people don't listen to podcasts at all, let alone a Star Wars podcast. So spread the word and tell your friends. We really appreciate that. Also, for your Star Wars news, make sure you go to StarWarsNewsNet.com every day. We also do editorials there, reviews, all sorts of great stuff. So as you're eating your breakfast, check in with Star Wars Newsnet so you're up to date on all things Star Wars news from Fanland. You can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey and writing and editing over at StarWarsNewsNet.com. And my movie podcast where we talk about not Star Wars movies. It's called Just Like the Movies, and it's available on all your favorite audio podcast apps. And we're doing Demolition Man on Tuesday, so that should be, or tomorrow. That should be fun. James, how about you?
As always, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram, both at Myra Trunks.
Lacey.
People can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Lacey Gilleran. You can check out my Lego Skywalker Saga review on StarWarsNewsNet.com. I got to play it. I mean, I have it, so I've played it for a bit, so it's really fun, and I give my thoughts on that, as well as, obviously, any Hasbro stuff that's coming up. And then I am going to be on some panels at Celebration, so stay tuned for that, because I do have stuff to announce. I just can't announce it yet.
Very good. And I apologize if I sound a little nasally. It's seasonal allergies, and for all of you out there who also deal with that, we're in this together. Take your allergy medicine. So we'll see you Thursday. We're going to talk about mothers in Star Wars, and we'll get into more detail on that as the week goes on. But enjoy your weeks. Enjoy the warmer weather if you're an East Coaster, and we'll see you next time right here on the Resistance broadcast. See you around, kids.